If you're stuck in the pain, you're stuck at the place oftentimes with the cognitive dissonance of like, I don't know what to do. Is he true? Is he not true? Is he lying? Is he not lying? What's actually happening? And people get stuck in the cognitive dissonance over and over and over. Like they get stuck in a place where they're like, I don't know what to actually believe. I don't know what it actually is true. You see, when you have cognitive dissonance, you're trying to think of two opposing thoughts at the same time, two conflicting ideas. It doesn't work. Okay, so it's typically the narcissist like, do I believe his words or do I believe his actions? Like, which do I actually believe? And typically you're stuck in this place and you're immobilized. You're left in a spot of like, I don't know what to do. I can't make a decision. I'm not sure what's right, what's wrong. Should I stay or should I go? Right? Like the book, like Dr. Romney. Like the whole idea is like, what do I actually do? The narcissist will leave you in pain for a long period of time. Okay, until you actually choose to start working on your growth, change, and development, you will stay there. You will stay stuck. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't fix you just going no contact. It doesn't fix you getting to the place of where you're away from the narcissist for a period of time, because those same triggers will pull you back in. Maybe you've been away from a narcissist for a period of time, and you've got to the place where you're like, hey, I feel like I'm doing better. And then all of a sudden you see something, you hear something, and it triggers you back. You have like an emotional, mental response of like triggering back into the place. And you're like, I thought I was healed from this. Well, it might be that you still need to heal in different aspects. It might be that there's still physiological things that are going to trigger you because of the stress involved. It might be that you still have a piece of a trauma bond. The story that you're telling yourself that locks you into that situation, that locks you into triggering you back into having an emotional response. Now, when it comes down to it, a narcissist will leave you in this aspect, will leave you stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, I don't know what to believe. And when you get to this space, you start to get to the place where you're like, wait a second. Like, I don't know what to believe. So you come up with your own version. You come up with your own idea. Well, I'll just believe this. But the problem is a lot of times it is incorrect. The problem sometimes is wrong, and it leaves you stuck a little bit longer. How many of you have been stuck, or you would say, hey, I'm currently stuck in a narcissistic relationship? You're like, hey, this is me. Like, I am stuck currently in a narcissistic relationship. Oftentimes when you're stuck in that moment, there doesn't seem to be any other options. Like this is the only thing I can do. And as a result, it leaves you stuck in this immobilization aspect where it's like, I can't do anything. I can't heal. I can't move forward. There's no way that I can actually do this. It's not true. But it's a story that you're going to tell yourself. It's a story that you're going to tell yourself that will keep you stuck for a long period of time because of the cognitive dissonance. Man is so angry, he's in his voice all the time, and I try to be good to him. That makes him more angry. Yeah, a lot of times it's going to. What's say? Good to catch you live. Left a year ago, still causing so much grief with control. A lot of times they will still try to control. Stuck in my healing, but no contact with them. Melanie, if you're stuck in your healing, please reach out. Like, click the link in the bio, because what we actually do is try to help give you a step-by-step process to be able to move through the healing, to break the trauma bond, to get out of the rumination, to get rid of the intrusive thoughts, the things that are coming in and like plaguing you over and over and over. It did feel impossible to leave. Now I'm 18 months out. That's awesome. I'm glad you're out. I'm not stuck, but I'm getting a safety net. I've been watching videos and downloaded the app. Yeah. So like a huge part is being able to start getting to a place where you understand, one, that there's a different reality there than what you've been believing. You can be free. Like, you can get out. The hard part is actually making that choice. This is oftentimes when people run from it. You're at the place where you're like, I want to heal, but I just want to heal fast. I want to heal, but I don't know if it's even possible. Like, I want to heal, but... And there's all these different stories and things that will play in your head that will leave you stuck in this aspect. The rumination. Yeah, 100%. I can't go no contact at all. I keep unblocking over and over and over. So, Melissa, it's the story you're telling yourself that starts to believe. You're still trauma bonded. Like, you're at the place where maybe you're pain shopping. Like, you either can't feel, like, you literally like feel numb. You can't feel anything until you look at his stuff. Unblock until you contact him. Then you feel better for a second, and then it goes away. It's pain shopping. Or you're like, I feel so much, I just have to do something with this. So you look at his social media, you interact. Okay, this is what happens. You pain shop, you go back and forth with a toxic person. How can you get a narcissist to answer after no contact but share a kid? If he's no contact with you and you have a kid, then I wouldn't even reach out. That's his decision. Leave it alone. Narcissists will use the kids to control you after the abuse, 100%. The bravest thing people can do is leave. I was stuck for a long time. No contact works. 100%. Like, no contact is the step Okay, like I want you to understand, like no contact does not fix it. There's a ton of people that I've met that have been no contact and they're still trauma bonded. No contact is the first step. Just like joining Escape Toxicity with us is the first step in your healing. Okay, it is the first step to just get to the place to have capacity to be able to heal. Like until you actually get to the place where you're no contact, or you've at least set boundaries so you can kind of pull back a little bit to focus on your own development, you're not able to actually heal. You're not able to actually move forward because you don't have the capacity to be able to do this. Like you're not able to move. You're boxed in. You're compartmentalized. You're immobilized. You're stuck. You're isolated. Like, do you feel this? Like, is this something you're struggling with? Because you're at the place where the narcissist typically has you so much in that even if you go no contact, it's still not going to do anything because mentally it still feels like you have the same constraints. I've been away for months now, but I feel stuck. I want to totally be free. I don't contact him, but I do answer his call once in a while. So that's still going to pull you back into the trauma one. Reach out, click the link in the bio. Like we teach you how to actually break free so that you don't go back. Like people that work through our program don't go back. Not because we tell them don't go back, but because it gets to the place where it helps you rewire and give you the tools to rewire your mindset so you don't even want to go back. So that the person that you're going to become, the version of you that you're going to unlock is going to get to the place where you run into them someday and you're like, you're not even attractive to me anymore. Like there is no pull here. Like we see this consistently with people that run through the programs. Like they're able to get free. Watch these videos every time I feel sad. It's a reminder of why I left. These videos help so much. Like, Kelsey, I'm awesome. That's awesome. Glad to hear you. How do you have no contact when you have children together? A lot of times you use third-party apps, third-party communication. You communicate through another person. It doesn't have to be face-to-face. It can be at least text, at least email, at least co-parenting app, at least using the BIF method, brief, informative, friendly, and firm. Like there's a lot of different pieces to it. Can you heal from the bond yourself, though? For it is impossible not to without reaching out to someone. There's people that have healed themselves. Okay, I'm not going to say like, hey, this is the only way, but I know this is one of the fastest ways for you to heal. And when we go through the aspects of the trauma bond, a lot of times people don't even know what actually makes up the trauma bond and what to do about it. We were married. He has all the money. I can't go no contact. It's a lot of people that have, even with no money. Just saying. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying like just keep your mindset open. I'm afraid to no contact because I'll miss him too much. I have no willpower. So Adrian, it's time for us to actually work on your mindset. Like let's actually work on building your confidence, building like who you actually are so you can actually move forward from that. I know he's using me for the money and free sex. I'm not even attracted to him anymore. Yeah, so let's work on changing that. Like, how long do you want to stay in that type of relationship? Because it is a choice. Yes, there's a lot of different factors involved depending on your situation. Maybe there's physical abuse. Maybe there's violence. Maybe there's stuff you're like, I don't even know if it'd be safe to do that. Let's talk through that. But at the end of the day, once you see it, it is a choice. What are you going to do about it? I feel, but I'm anxious when I know that he's about 100%. There's still like a piece of that. Do restraining orders work? Not for the narcissist, but oftentimes they work because then you get them thrown in jail. It's the biggest piece.